I've made almost 75,000 Midjourney images, and here are 18 more tips that I think you should know about. Tip number 1, use Midjourney as an upscaler. This involves the new editor, and while you may not have access to it at the moment, this will surely come in handy in the future. To use the editor, you need at least 10,000 images made, or a yearly membership, or 12 consecutive months with a subscription. When you go into the new editor, you can upload an image from your computer or a URL. I found this picture of Carlos Delgado from like 2004. It's 350 by 226 pixels. This is a blurry mess. What we're going to do is lower the brush size, and then all we need to do is make a very small selection somewhere on the picture. Like that's it, right there at the top. It's so small you can't even see it. We need to write something in our prompt. It can be anything, keep it short, one word works. Yeah, and then we'll click on Submit Edit. This is going to create 4 options for you, and they're all going to be blurry still, but that's not the trick. What we need to do is scroll down here and click Upscale to Gallery, which means it's going to take this picture and turn it into something like this. Isn't that wild? Look how clear and crisp that picture is now. That is from like 20 years ago. Midjourney is able to upscale it, and I think this is so cool. Tip number 2, experiment without commitment. You gotta try this. You can see yourself with tattoos. Again, this is using the new Midjourney editor, and I didn't even realize you could do this until Midjourney accidentally served up this picture for me. Look how funny that is. Isn't that hilarious? All you need to do is upload an image, erase parts that you want to change, and enter a prompt. Okay, I kind of screwed up by erasing parts of my face, which is why it looks a little funny. But isn't this awesome? Again, experiment with tattoos without commitment. Tip number 3, suggested prompt. If you are using the new editor and you want to add something to the image, your prompt might be getting in the way. Inpainting can be a little tricky sometimes, so try this. Upload your image and then look for Suggest Prompt. This is basically the describe feature. Midjourney is going to write a prompt that describes this scene. Then in order to inpaint, we're just going to adjust the prompt slightly. So let's erase a part of the image, and then we'll go up here. Right after a wide shot of the beach in Vietnam, I'm going to write a Godzilla-like monster is emerging from the water. And look at that result in particular. Isn't that wild? Don't forget about the suggested prompt. Tip number 4, silver point. Big special thanks to Alicia from my school community, the Future Tech Academy. She shared the word silver point with us, and look what it creates. I had never heard of this myself, and I'm blown away. It's such a simple word, but it can create such a strong effect. That word will generate these very intricate, desaturated drawings. Isn't that so cool? Simple, easy to remember. Try silver point. Tip number 5, a new workflow. Here is a new workflow for your long Midjourney sessions. Create all your pictures normally, and then you're going to right-click on the pictures you like and click like. Simple, right? Then in your gallery, you can filter by liked images, and then it's easy to download them. Select the entire day, boom, there you go. Tip number 6, hide images easier. Building off that last trick, and something I didn't realize until multiple people pointed it out in my last video, you can also hide images after right-clicking. Look, if you've made a bunch of generations, your creation feed can seem pretty hectic. I just think it's a good habit to clean up your feed as you go along by using the hide feature. Tip number 7, keep your hands on the mouse. They finally added a button that you can click on to submit your jobs. Before, you had to use the enter key on your keyboard. Now you can simply click this button at the top. So it's like you write your prompt and then you use your mouse to open those options, then you can keep your hand on the mouse and click the submit button. I don't want to take credit for this, but I'm gonna take credit for this. I actually left this as feedback on the Discord channel. I said there should be a button beside the prompt box that you can click to run the generation. David himself responded, why is it important to have a button? And I tried to explain myself a little. Because sometimes I'll have one hand on my keyboard for copy and pasting like parts of a prompt or sref codes, and then I'll have one hand on my mouse. It was hard to get into a flow state when I had to constantly take my hand off the mouse in order to hit enter on my keyboard. I thought it was pretty simple, and I guess their team agreed. I hope this one makes you more comfortable too. Tip number 8, amused. Facial expressions can be difficult to control in Midjourney because if you don't mention anything in your prompt, you'll probably generate a character with a very stern and cold look. Definitely soulless. And if you use words like excited or even happy, you might get some wide-eyed monstrosity showing you a lot of teeth. Not ideal either. So try this word in your prompts when you want a realistic smile. Amused. Amused generates the perfect resemblance of a satisfied human. Tip number 9, pareidolia. This is actually that psychological phenomenon where people can see faces in random objects. And if you use that specific word, it's going to trigger a really specific effect. Like, look at these, how funny is that? The word itself is pretty cool and surreal, but look what happens when you use other objects in the prompt. Like, look how funny that is. The bubbles are acting as eyes, but it has a reflection. Like, that is so cool. I know this one's a little weird, but maybe you'll find the perfect use case for it someday. Tip number 10, search is so powerful. You can actually search the entirety of Midjourney public images using that feature in the top right corner. When you're in the Organize tab, that search bar is going to take you through your images. But on the Explore page, you get to see everyone else's. But here's the crazy part. When you find something you like, click on it and then click that little search icon again. That magnifying glass. This will take you to a deeper layer where you will only see images that resemble the one you clicked on. This is a way to really hone in on a specific look. It's great for photography terms and looks like that. Tip number 11, synonyms. Piggybacking off some previous tips, you can even search for concepts like pareidolia, and it will actually show you images that match the definition even if they don't contain the word in the prompt. Isn't that wild? Like, what a sophisticated and fun search tool. You can learn all types of different ways to say the same thing. Like this one, a rock formation resembling an elephant's head situated atop a mountain in China against a white background. No mention of pareidolia, but pareidolia brings up this picture. It's really cool. Or this one, a funny thing that only happens in Ohio. Why would Midjourney create this? I don't know, but Midjourney knows that this looks like the idea of pareidolia. Tip number 12, search your creations. You can search through your prompts on the create page. This will help you get back to the full grid generation. Like maybe you have a picture in your gallery that you like, but you want to see the rest of the grid it came from. You can't really do that, but we can take some keywords, go to the creation page and search. And there it is, there's the grid it came from. That might come in handy for you. Tip number 13, random retexture. Going back to the new editor for a moment, you can use sref random while you're retexturing. Like take a look at this. So we'll click on retexture, and then at the end of the prompt, we can type --sref random. Now I guess I don't really know the style that this code creates, but we could expect results like this. Look how cool that is. I guess it's sort of a minimal, painterly melting look. I like that a lot. Don't forget about sref random when you're using retexture. Tip number 14, retexture 2.0. So you can style reference with retexture, but image prompting is also kinda cool. Albeit it is a little hard to predict what will happen though. Let's take this black pen and ink sketch of an armadillo. I'll select this blue and orange picture as an example and I'll run it as a style reference. And like these are kinda cool or whatever, I don't mind that one. And that one too. But what happens if we turn this into an image prompt? It's gonna be a little different. Like look at that. Wow. Again, I don't know if it's easy to describe what the difference is, but there is a difference. You can even bump up the image weight, --IW and then a value of 3 at the end of your prompt. And that will create images like these. Holy cow, I just got goosebumps. Oh, look how intense and beautiful that is. I love the way the character extends past the black bars. Just so cool. Don't forget about that little trick, you might like the results. Tip number 15, the triple. Building off that last one, let's hit a retexture with a triple reference. Style reference, character reference, and image prompt. To do that, we can hold Shift on our keyboard to select more than one reference. Again, it's pretty hard to understand what's going to happen, but I'm a fan of this process. I think the results can be pretty cool. You could even hit them with the triple if you're feeling wild. Select 2 more images and then add all 3 references to both of them. Oh, dang, that one's cool. I like that one a lot too. Those white eyes, that's creepy. And consider adding a stop value to create that effect of a blurring image. Basically, Midjourney is going to stop the process at a certain point rather than 100%. 20 is probably a little low, 50 might even be a little low, but I thought 87 looked pretty cool. Like look at that, that's amazing. Tip number 16, think outside the box. Retexturing can do more than just change styles. It can change the entire subject. You just need to think outside the box a little bit. Like take this weird picture of a person in a Twyla Tharp pose. We can use the retexture to turn him into a leafy green bush in Central Park. Like, look at that. That's wild. Midjourney definitely saw him as kind of like a cactus, I guess. Retexturing is going to keep the shape, which means that you can transform it into anything you can think of. Tip number 17. Maybe simple is better. I know I just told you to think outside the box, but there might be an advantage of doing the opposite. If you run a retexture with the exact same prompt, you might develop some better images. Now this is really a case-by-case basis, but it can come in handy. If your original generation didn't work out the way you thought it would, take it in a retexture and run it with the exact same prompt. Here's a cinematic rendition of Optimus Prime wearing medieval armor. The background is a beach at sunset, and I think this picture is decent, I guess. But when I ran it through retexture with that prompt, it came out with these. Now they're not all good, but I like that one a lot. Do I like it better than the original? I don't know, but again, this is something to look out for. Tip number 18, before and after. Special thanks to the offsite agency, I found this prompt over on the Explore page. The basis of the prompt is describing a person's hair transformation, and as long as we focus on the hair, Midjourney does a surprisingly good job at keeping a consistent face. It also works pretty well with a character reference, but make sure you lower that character weight. So this example is something like a hair tint before and after photo. Left is blonde, right is fully colored neon blue. The woman is 30 years old. Left side shows dry frizzy hair and right shows shiny freshly styled hair straight out of the hair salon. White background, natural lighting, and realistic professional photography all help as well. Like, look how cool that is. I think this is a fun way to create the illusion of an actual transformation for your character. Like, isn't that unreal? Well, I hope you enjoyed those 18 tips, and if you want some more, you should check out this video now. I hope you're doing well, take care, and I'll see you next time. Peace.